Alright, this is going to be my second tier list. I think I'm going to do a lot of these on my channel, but today's is going to be an X-Men tier list. Now, not all of these characters on here are X-Men. Characters like Colonel Stryker and Deadpool, characters like that aren't X-Men. But we're still going to make it anyway. So the first person we have is Erik Lehnsherr. I do have like the younger versions of the characters compared to the older versions. So this is the younger version of Magneto. I don't find him as interesting as Magneto. He kind of goes on and off from being like a bad and good character, like good and evil. He's not my favorite. I'll put him in a B. I think he's a good character. He does appear quite a lot. Again, I think I'm going to base a lot of these based on how much you actually see them in the movies, you know what I'm saying? So next up we have, I believe his name is Victor. I did not like his character at all. He appeared in the X-Men, sorry, not the X-Men, the Wolverine origin story, I believe. And I did not like his character at all. He was just really annoying. And yeah, I did not like his character. He was just a really bad villain. Yeah. But Colonel Stryker right here, again, not a good character. He does appear in 2 of the movies. He's not a bad character at all. Like, I don't like the character. I just don't like the things that he's done. He made Wolverine what he is. He's just a bad dude in general. I'm gonna put him at a C. C is decent. Gambit. I don't know too much about this character. He's more in the comics. I believe you also see him in the same movie that you see Victor, which is Wolverine Origins. However, he's just kind of there. He doesn't do anything. All he does is annoys Wolverine. That's what he does. That's the only thing he did in that movie. Yeah, I'm gonna have to put him in bad. I'm ranking these ones pretty bad, but don't worry. More down the list, they'll get better and better. So next up we have, I believe his name is Angel. I believe he appeared in 2 movies. One of them he was good, and then one of them he worked with Apocalypse, I believe. Again, you don't see him that much. I think he's pretty interesting as an X-Men character. I'm gonna put him in B. He's just an interesting character, or X-Men with his ability. Emma Frost. You can't see her face, but she's there. And yeah, I believe she was the main villain in First Class, X-Men First Class. I did not like that movie really at all. Neither was she really that good of a villain in that movie. I'm gonna put her in a C with Colonel Stryker. Just all of these have been villains. Like, if you noticed, all of them have just been villains. Psylocke, yet another villain, kind of. She worked with Apocalypse. She was a very interesting character with her abilities. I'm sorry I can't see some of their faces. Some of them just do not have faces. However, she was a cool character. But, I think she could have done more than just kind of a side character for the main villain. I'll put her in a B because I think she is a pretty cool character, though. Rogue. Rogue is going to be the first one I actually place in Mutant. Rogue is a cool character. She's kind of like the launching pad for the X-Men movies. She's like the main... She was like the very first mutant that we saw in the movie. And then Wolverine's kind of there just to take over from her. But yeah, very interesting character. Very interesting abilities, too. Hank McCoy. Not really a mutant at this point. He's kind of just... Like, Colonel Stryker isn't a mutant. Neither is he. But he's just kind of there. He works and helps out with Charles Xavier, the younger one. He's a really cool character, but I think he becomes better once he becomes the Beast. I'm gonna put him in B just because he's not a mutant yet. But yeah, we have Pyro here. Pyro's a really cool character, even though you don't see him that much. You only see him in the X-Men movie and the X2 movie. A really interesting character with his fire abilities, but just, again, you don't see him that much. He's a villain. He's just really annoying. I'm gonna put him in B. I think B is fine. Deadpool is going straight to the top. I won't lie to y'all, I have not seen the Deadpool movies. I just haven't. The only time I saw him in the X-Men movies was in the Wolverine origin story, where they kind of led up to his character. But yeah, really cool character. Just didn't have, again, much to work with in the X-Men movies, but then he got his own 2 spin-off movies, which I heard are really good, even though I haven't watched them. Next up we have Wolverine, obviously. Sorry. He's going straight to the true X-Men as well. He is the main X-Men character. Like, he is what the X-Men is. If he wasn't there, it wouldn't be an X-Men movie. But Surprisingly, even though he's the most popular X-Men, he hasn't been in every single X-Men movie. He wasn't in First Class, and I don't believe he was in another one. He had a small cameo in X-Men Apocalypse, though. But yeah, next up, we have Apocalypse right here. I honestly say he's like the second best villain in the X-Men series. But right here, he's just kind of an interesting one. Compared to like Emma Frost and say Victor, he's just a whole lot more interesting in terms of story, lore, and abilities. I'm gonna put him in B. You know what, I'm gonna go ahead and put him in Mutant. I think that makes more sense. Alright, Peter Maximoff going straight to the top. This is my favorite X-Men right here. He's my personal favorite X-Men because of just his abilities. There was this really cool scene in the X-Men Apocalypse movie where the whole school, the Xavier's House of the Gifted Students, I believe that's what it's called. He saves all of them before the house even blows up, which is really cool. But yeah, so there was this is the coolest thing ever, but in the WandaVision show, I love that show by the way, he had a role in that show, which is really cool. I don't think it was the official Peter Maximoff, it was Pietro Maximoff, so yeah, big difference there. Colossus, again, you can't see his face, but he doesn't, I believe he only appears in X2, if I'm correct. Yeah, I believe that's the only time he appears. I believe he is also in the Deadpool movie. I saw him in a scene there. He's a very interesting character. I do like his abilities. I'm gonna put him in Mutant. However, you rarely ever see him, and he doesn't have a big role, so I can't. I'm just gonna go ahead and put him in a B just for that. Juggernaut, I believe he appears in. I can't remember the name of the movie that he appears in. It's not X2. It's not X-Men. So yeah, I don't really remember which one he appeared in. But I think he's a very cool, interesting character. He's like the Hulk, but just more human. I'll put him in C just because I don't think he deserves bad. He's not bad at all, but I think like in terms of how much you actually see him in the movies, a C would make sense. Xavier, Charles Xavier. No, this is more of Professor X than it is Charles Xavier. He's definitely going in the mutant section. He again, like Wolverine, he's like a main character. He has been in every movie for sure. Like even if it's not him, it's his younger version in every single movie. So that's a really cool. He can read minds and all that stuff. He's just what makes the X-Men X-Men. Same with Wolverine. Magneto, the best X-Men villain for sure. Obviously, he's not the best Marvel villain, but for sure he's the best X-Men movie. I'm gonna go ahead and put him in True X-Men. Actually, he's a really cool character. Just his abilities. He's able to manipulate metal and change that up. It's really cool. But yeah, I think he's a great villain. I don't know if he's been in every single movie. I actually think he has. I believe he's been in every single movie. Yeah. Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me in the comments if I'm wrong about that. But I believe he's been in every X-Men movie. But yeah, next up we have Mystique. I'm going to put her in Mutant. No, actually, wait. I think I'm gonna go ahead and put her in True X-Men. She's just such an interesting character, you know. She can like change into anyone she wants to. However, I'm not entirely sure how that works. Like, she can change into like. Does she change into someone she wants to, she sees, or someone that, like, in her mind she thinks of? I have no idea how that works. Very interesting character. Again, she's like one of those characters that, like, when you think of the X-Men, you think of Mystique. You think of Wolverine, you think of Professor X, you know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, Peter is just like one of those characters that you don't. Rest in peace. But yeah, next up we have Storm. I'm gonna put her in Mutant. And mainly the reason there is just because she's a real side character, unfortunately. They rarely ever talk about her story, who she is, you know, and I think that's really unfortunate. She's just kind of there in the X-Men movies. She doesn't even appear in all of them. But yeah, she goes alongside Cyclops, who wished, I'm so sorry I didn't add to this tier list. I'll add a picture of him here, and I probably would have put him in a mutant section as well. But yeah, unfortunately, I didn't. Next up we have Beast, or the Beast. I'm not really sure which one. I'm gonna put him in mutant is what? Yeah. He's played by Kelsey Grammer, and I love Kelsey Grammer. He played Frasier in the TV show Frasier. Absolutely love that show. But I think Kelsey Grammer, of course, no offense to him or his character, but I feel like he didn't have a big role in that movie, in the older movies, that much at all. Hank McCoy, which is right here, he becomes the Beast in the younger, that's what I like to call him, the younger movies. He had a more bigger role, bigger impact on the X-Men team. But yeah, I think these two are really cool characters. Next up, we have Jean Grey. Jean Grey, I feel like they didn't really show off her true potential. I believe in the comics they do a lot more of that. However, in the movies, I believe in one of the X-Men movie, Magneto kind of like uses her. I don't remember that movie. That was the one with Juggernaut. Cannot remember the name of it. But it was a very interesting, very interesting plot story. I'm gonna put her in B, just because I like the younger version of Jean Grey, just more because they elaborated more on her story. But and this one they kind of just like, oh yeah, hey, she's real powerful. That's it. That's all you get. You're welcome, and just kind of throw in there, which is really unfortunate. But yeah, and our last character is Charles Xavier, the younger Professor X. I'm gonna also put him in B, mainly because I feel like he's kind of weak. He's kind of there just for the story, not really for his abilities. I believe in one of the movies he didn't even have his powers because he traded them for the ability of his legs back. But yeah, he's just kind of weak in those movies until he becomes Professor X. Really good for the story though. And yeah, I definitely rank him with Eric Lenscher. But yeah, that's basically my opinion, and these are my top 5 X-Men characters. Agree if you agree, disagree if you disagree. And yeah, comment down below if you agree, or if there is something you'd like to change here. Also, if you want to be a bad boy and a real rebel, make sure you subscribe. It's kind of what all the cool kids are doing.